Lakers, Giannis, Ice Trae Young, the Philadelphia 76ers. Who's been naughty and who's been nice? All right, y'all, let's get to the nice list. First up on the nice list, man, I'm going to go with Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Bucks started the season 2-8. Everybody was semi in panic mode about this team. The defense was a whole freaking mess. Chris Middleton not in the lineup, like problems with youth, athleticism, you name it. But I gotta say, Giannis on the nice list for being the most instrumental part in turning everything around. Like, every single game this season, he's made more shots than he's missed. The efficiency is crazy. He's got a career high in mid-range efficiency. For me, it's what he's doing on defense. I think Giannis has kind of figured out what it's gonna take from him for this group of Bucks to be successful. And he's kind of been like, all right, I have to be the mega ultra apex predator on defense who's like just insane on the help side, deterring guys from even wanting to take shots at the rim, switching out on guards whenever he feels like it. That freaking final at the NBA Cup, man, what he did against OKC, some of the highlights were insane. Some of the things that weren't highlights where, you know, he's deterring guys from even getting the ball on back cuts when he switched up on guards who might have even had a step there like, hold on, Giannis is on my back. I don't want to take this shot at the rim. I just love that Giannis has taken on the challenge of being like, all right, I know what this team needs now for us to become the championship worthy competitor. And they've turned this thing completely around from the start of the season. Giannis definitely on my nice list. All right, let's get to the first person on our naughty list. You know, this person, they're going to get a lump of coal. Sorry, y'all. Not everybody gets to get the greatest gifts during this holiday season. I got to go with Rob Pelinka. I'm sorry. Everybody's talking about the Lakers rotation, the coaching switch, was Darvin Ham a complete idiot, blah, 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 blah. The most prominent franchise in the league, the most decorated, right there with the Celtics in terms of historically in the NBA. Somehow, nobody ever talks about freaking management. We never start at the top. And Rob Pelinka, I'm sorry, has put together an inept roster. If the goal is to ultimately be a championship contending team, the West is super jumbled up. I think even OKC, who's been pretty dominant this year. Watching the NBA Cup, this doesn't seem like some juggernaut that cannot be touched. But the fact that Rob Pelinka, with the resources at his disposal, the advantages that are inherent to being in Los Angeles, can't put together, you know, a team that's going to be competitive at the top of the West with LeBron James, with AD, he stinks. I'm sorry, y'all. And Jeannie Buss, she's another one who constantly skates. People just don't talk about her as an inept owner the way that they do with James Dolan or Reinsdorf in Chicago or some of these horrible ownership. The people in New Orleans, my goodness. People acknowledge that the ownership situations there are challenging, and for whatever reason, Jeannie Buss just skates all the time. So yeah, Rob Pelinka, definitely on my naughty list. Next up on Waz's nice list this year, NBA naughty or nice list, I'm going to go with Trae Young, Ice Trae the gang, man. I got to say, I was somebody who, I've been on a roller coaster with Trae Young basically his whole career. I started off as a skeptic, just like, oh, this guy's too small. This guy has an erratic shot selection. Then, you know, he has the incredible playoff success in the Garden, incredible like playoff run where they somehow win 2 rounds of basketball, like basically ending Ben Simmons' career as we know it. You know, I became a Trae Young and a Hawks believer, and then they spent like 2-3 years in the freaking wilderness. And I thought a big part of that was that Trae Young, just as a leader, just never proved to be this galvanizing figure that could bring a team together and have them coalesce and, you know, be bigger than the sum of its parts. This year, man, I came into the season thinking like, yo, Trae Young is never going to figure it out in Atlanta. You know, he's kind of been anointed as a boy king there since he got drafted, and it might not work out. I was wrong, guys. Trae Young this year, man, especially watching them in Vegas, watching that group, again, in a loss to Giannis and them, but like, the competitive spirit of this team, how dogged they are in terms of competitors, and Trae Young changing his game, like empowering all of these young guys to take ownership of the offense, right? Like, be part owners in what's happening on offense, which then, makes these guys want to bust their humps on defense. The Dyson Daniels, the Jalen Johnsons, the Richechays. Like, these guys are believing in themselves, and Trae Young is empowering them. And then, more importantly, man, watching this guy up close, his understanding of showmanship, his understanding that, like, not only do I have to be a great hooper, but I want to entertain these people that paid their hard-earned dollars to come watch us hoop. His ownership of that aspect of the game, plus, like, Trae Young is trying on defense. Like, he's giving it an ultimate effort. He's never going to be Gary Payton on defense, y'all. Like, nobody's ever going to give him Marcus Smart Defensive Player of the Year type of situation. That's never going to be the case. But the fact that he's giving it his ultimate sort of, giving it the good old college try, like, I got to give all the praises to Trae Young, man. Like, he's turned it around. He's empowering these young guys. He's playing a different game than he has in the past. Go watch what he did in the Garden. All of the fun he was having, rolling dice on the freaking Knicks logo. Like, we need more of what Trae Young is bringing to the NBA this season than anything else, man. Trae Young, he's on the nice list, y'all. All right, guys, last but certainly not least on the naughty list, y'all, I gotta go with the sad sack Philadelphia 76ers as a staff, record label, and as a mother effing crew. They've blown it. This is the season from hell. Basically, it's over. A quarter point into the season, a team that we thought was going to compete for an Eastern Conference championship is at the bottom of the East standings. Joel Embiid can't stay on the floor. Neither can Paul George. At least Joel, when he plays, he looks like an all-star. Paul George looks cooked when he plays. Maxi's having his worst shooting season ever. Jared McCain, the lone bright spot of the season, messes up his knee, cooks his knee. He's out indefinitely. This is just the season from hell, and I do think it's just an organizational stink, man. Basically, since the process, like, these guys have done nothing but get to the second round of the playoffs, which Doug Collins probably at home looking like, shit, I got to the second round of the playoffs. And Doug Collins was essentially the antithesis of everything they ever wanted to be when they embarked on the process. New management, new GMs, new coaches, new players, new nucleuses come in and out, and yet the stink just remains on what's going on in Philadelphia. Just watching this is just so tough to watch, and I get it. Joel is doing everything that he can to stay on the floor. We know the problems for guys the size of Joel Embiid, how hard it is to stay on the floor, especially at his age with the mileage that he has. We get it. But there's just no reason for this collection of talent to be in the freaking doldrums, just the basement, bottom of the barrel, bringing up the rear, stinking up the joint, tire fire, dumpster fire, whatever you want to call it, that this Sixers season is, man. I got no choice but to put them on the naughty list. No presents for you guys this year. All right, that was our show for today, man. I just want to wish a happy holidays to everybody that participates with the content we make here at The Ringer. I hope you guys enjoy your family, enjoy yourselves, enjoy your time off. Shouts to everybody that's watching this show. Make sure you become a subscriber to The Ringer's YouTube page, Ringer NBA, Ringer Movies, Bill Simmons, all of the stuff that we got going on YouTube. And make sure you hit the like button on this thing. We will see you guys next week. Peace out.